We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome back to another live and amplified indie fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quad. We're back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. We have Maddie, Riccardo. How's it going?
Hi. Going great. How's it going with you?
It's going pretty good. It's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. So excited to have you on. Excited to sit down and chat a little bit.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You just dropped a new single, so things are happening for you right now. How's
Things are happening. It's good. It's exciting. It's always exciting when you release something new. This will be my 5th single now, which is cool. You know, age 24, 5 singles. Okay.
Nice. Hey, you're doing a lot better than a lot of people. So,
you know, it's hard. It's a hard game to play, you know, but it's fun and I love it. So
absolutely. Like the one thing that I don't think a lot of people touch on is the fact that how hard it is to release music, because especially depending on what kind of music you're making, is it personally vulnerable to you? Does it put you in a bad spot? You know, just kind of putting those kind of emotions out there isn't always easy. And so I think we need to celebrate the fact that musicians actually put out music. It's a big thing. So
I agree.
But so tell us about the new single. What's the story behind it? You know, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so it's called Barstool. It is kind of a funny story. It's a story about how guys here in Nashville just don't grow up. They're always out at the bars, getting with the girls, and they're not, you know, really looking to settle down. And it's sort of just that funny thing. I had worked at a bar downtown, saw a lot of things. And my friends and I were just talking about how difficult dating in Nashville is. And then I just wrote the song because it's so true. Like here you are kind of caught up in the young life, which is fun. But when you're trying to find something serious, it's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like that's everywhere, not just but it's like especially hard in Nashville because everybody comes there expecting, it's like a college town on steroids, even though it is actually like a college town too. But
yes.
So
yes, love the city. It's great, but it's definitely like Broadway, which is the strip of bars everyone comes to have their bachelorette parties, all that stuff. It's just like I grew up like with Friday nights being about like football, and maybe some people would go to like the local bar, but like here it's like, oh, you go out on a Friday and Saturday and people are like ordering bottle service. Yeah. And like that is how it is every weekend. It's just like clubbing, which is fun. But like I went to school here, so I'm kind of like over it a little bit, you know? So when you're kind of looking for something more serious, you probably don't want your boyfriend getting bottle service every weekend.
Right.
That's just me personally, though.
Right. It's so funny that you brought up the bachelorette parties because I think it was the last time, or no, last February, I was in Nashville for CRS, and I was sitting, it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. CRS happens at, I don't remember what hotel it is, but one of the big fancy ones, you know, and I was sitting in the lobby waiting for an interview to come through, and I just saw the pedal bike deal with a bunch of drunk bridesmaids and all this stuff just paddling by. It's like, guys, it's Wednesday and it's 11 a.m. Who is having a bachelorette party at 11 a.m. on Wednesday?
And like, I get it. It's fun and stuff like that. But like a turning point for me was definitely seeing like married men or guys on the bachelor trip and like them making moves on people. And I'm just an old school, like hopeless romantic, one person for me and I'm good. Yeah. So I think my personality just like thought that was so out of my world. So I was like, might as well make fun of it and write a song.
Fair enough. So how's the response to Barstool been?
Everyone who's heard it really likes it. We're still trying to push it. I am still kind of new into this game, especially the social media end. So I'm trying to just build my numbers so that more people, know about me. But independent artists, everyone's doing it, and
Yeah,
so many new songs are coming out every week. So you just gotta kind of keep singing for yourself,
for sure.
and just hope
Yeah.
against hope.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like if you're not doing it for yourself, then who are you doing it for?
Exactly.
You know, I've seen a lot of musicians burn themselves out from like trying to chase these like imaginary analytics or these imaginary goals. And it's
Yeah.
like, is music even fun to you? And if the answer is no, then just stop.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because if by chance you do catch and go on like a national tour, if you're not enjoying it, like
Right.
all those documentaries they make about musicians burning out, getting into drugs, all that stuff, that's going to be you, like without a
Exactly.
doubt. So,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. So with Barstool, is it leading to a bigger project, or do you kind of just like the singles right now?
Right now, building my catalog, releasing singles. We're hoping every 6 to 8 weeks. So I'll have another single come out the end of May, which I'm really excited about. I'm a ballad girl at heart, so this is a ballad song this time. So I'm super excited about that.
Nice,
And that's just the plan for the year, roll out new music and hopefully build up the fan base.
nice. Are you thinking monthly, every 6 weeks, or is it just kind of when you have stuff ready?
I'm hoping it's going to be about monthly, if
Okay.
not every 6 weeks on the dot. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Have you announced anything about the new song coming up in May, or is that still TBD right now?
TBD, I think I'm gonna start teasing it a little next week. I'm
Mhm.
going to LA to record some new stuff. So I'm thinking while I'm out there, get some content done and
Nice,
do something cool out there.
nice. So you record your music in LA, or
So I usually record it in Nashville.
okay,
Um, and recently I found another producer I was connected with, and he's out in LA. So I've never been. And I'm all about trying new things. So I'm gonna go to LA, see what it's like out there for a couple days, record, and then I'll come back to Nashville.
nice. I've never honestly. That's I'm not going to say it's backwards, but I don't hear a lot of people that
I
live
know.
in Nashville to go to LA to record. But that's kind
I
of
know.
cool. So
I know. I'm kind of like, okay, it's a cool excuse to get out to LA
right,
because I've never been.
right.
So I'm like, all right, I'll take it.
Right. And it's one of those things where you work with different people, different, it's because like Nashville has that thing where a lot of people record and produce, like there's a certain way to do things in Nashville.
Yes.
And I mean, yeah, you have your outliers that do things their own way, but for the most part, there's a certain way of doing things in Nashville. And by stepping out, you're
Yeah.
kind of just seeing what else is out there, which is very admirable.
Yes. Thank you. I try to remind myself, I'm like, Maddie, you are from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Right.
You are not from Texas or Georgia. I don't have a Southern twang. As much as I can jump a little bit into the countryside of things, I definitely resonate with more of Adele than
Mhm.
anything. So I'm trying to go for like the Adele of country.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to find my sound and stuff. So I think I'm gonna, further my search genre wise and sound wise and just play around while I'm young.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Especially right now, because you said you're 24.
24.
So you're 24, you don't have a whole lot of major responsibilities yet, no kids, none of that stuff.
Right?
And it's like, take those chances. If you want to go to LA and record, do it. If you want to come to Austin and record, go do it. Just like all the things, just take those chances while you can because you will regret it if you don't. So,
That's my biggest thing. I don't want to live with regret.
yeah, absolutely. So you're from Scranton,
Yes.
and the first place I ever heard about Scranton was Home Alone.
Oh my goodness, the airport in the movie, right?
Yep. Where the heck
So
am I? Scranton. I don't know.
that
That's all I know.
airport, so small, by the way.
Is it?
So small. Maybe seven gates.
Okay.
Like it's one little thing. You go through security and you're at all the gates.
Fair. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like I lived in Tallahassee for about 4 years. That's about what
Oh,
their
cool.
airport was. So, The airport here, I think I live in Waco, Texas, and I think
Okay.
maybe we got like 2 or 3 gates. So even smaller.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Do you like Texas?
Yeah, I love it. I've been here about, it would be 6 years in October.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah,
I've never been.
it's cool. It's for a lot of people, I tell them if you want to give Texas a try, fly into Dallas and then drive to San Antonio, and you'll get pretty much the baseline experience of like every different thing. You're not going to experience West Texas or East Texas. East
Okay.
Texas is probably a little bit more of an interesting vibe out of anything. West Texas is just oil and dead land. So
Okay.
yeah,
Now, are you a Dallas Cowboys fan?
no, oh no, 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 no.
All right.
I'm from Chicago, so
Okay.
yeah, that gives you all the answers you need to know.
I got it.
So, no, that's really cool. So, were your parents musical? Is that how you got into music, or?
Yeah, my dad was super musical growing up. He had his little like band
Yeah,
in our town and always playing guitar. I had cousins who were in piano classes. My great grandmother knew piano like just by her ear. She was incredible. So I just grew up kind of like around it.
that's sick.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's good. And now were they like introducing you to like different styles of music, or was it just kind of that more on you?
I would say, well, I grew up mainly on Bruce Springsteen
Okay,
because
fair,
my dad is a diehard like Bruce
fair.
Springsteen fan. But I guess I was I have five brothers, so they were always listening to different things. My mom was listening to different things. So I think it was just all over the place growing up, which was super fun. But yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Would you say that kind of helped influence your musical taste? Because like you talk about country music, but then you also talk about wanting to be more of an Adele of country music. Do you kind of figure your upbringing is why you have kind of a wider base of taste in music
Yes.
or
Yeah.
influence, I guess? So
I would say so. It's so weird how you can remember like certain moments from your childhood. I'll never forget listening to Adele Rolling in the Deep in the car. And my mom, I was like 10 years old, and my mom was like, you can do what she does one day. Like, you have a raspy voice like her, like, you have the pipes, like, you can totally be like as strong as Adele one day. I don't know why that has stuck with me through these years. I like hear it every day though. And then I'm like, okay, like, I need to follow that kind of like
mhm.
heaviness with the vocals and that sort of lane in music.
Right.
So yeah,
Nice. That's cool. And then was getting to Nashville kind of always the goal, or was that something you kind of, once you started leaning more into country, you felt like you had to go to Nashville?
no, country was not part of the plan at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
I was touring colleges up in Pennsylvania for music. We didn't know music business degrees existed until I was touring a college and they were like, "Oh, what other colleges are you looking at?" So I quick like Googled like music schools, and Belmont was the first one to pop up. And I just said, "Oh, I'm looking at Belmont in Nashville." And my parents were like, "We should actually really look at that." And then wouldn't you know it, we like booked a tour
Mhm.
and went on it, and I loved it. And that was just kind of it.
Mhm.
And I came to school not having any country influence really at all, but being around everyone here, I just gravitated towards it naturally. But
That's
never before college would I have done country.
fair. No, now, who was like the first country artist you started listening to once you got to Nashville?
Okay, I don't know if technically it was an art. I was always listening to Luke Combs, I'll say
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
I had an ex in high school who was like super into country music, so he was always playing it. So that like I kind of incorporated a little bit.
Yeah.
But these three friends of mine, Cam, Sean, and Davis, I met them like the first night at Belmont and they were singing on the lawn. They like influenced so much of it for some reason. Them just singing. And I think it's the songwriting that I love about country the most because it tells a story,
Right.
right? Like those are always the songs you're like, I have a clear depiction, a clear story that I'm following. And that I think is what did it for me.
Right. No, nothing is like, I mean, there's a lot left for interpretation, but you have a good idea of where it's going and what
Mhm.
it's going on. So
Yes.
I totally get it. That's sweet. And then like coming out of college, it was full bore into music at that point.
Yeah, I just decided to let go and let God.
Mhm.
I got a serving job and said I'm not going to do a 9 to 5. I think that would take away from the music thing. And so I just had this idea of writing all year, recording, and luckily, like some of those songs that I wrote and did demos for ended up helping me get a team together for this year. And now we're just going to keep rolling them out.
Nice, nice, nice. And are you playing shows pretty consistently right now, or are you doing like more of a Nashville grind with the shows? Like, what's kind of, yeah,
I'd say here and there, I'll get invited to writers' rounds here, which are super cool. Nothing consistent yet, but I think it'll take me releasing music kind of close together,
yeah,
like on a monthly, 6 week basis.
yeah. I totally get it. You know, it's one of those things where it's like it's what comes first, the chicken or the egg? What comes first, releasing music or playing shows? And it's like, I mean, they kind of work hand in hand. That like the
Yeah.
releasing music, you can kind of get yourself into it, but so I get
Yeah.
it. Where do you kind of find yourself right now creatively? Would you say you're more focused on like the recording aspect of things, or would you say you're more like in a writing phase right now?
I'd say a little bit of both.
Okay.
Um, I think like when you're a musician, songwriter, artist, you always have to kind of live in the future. So I'm focused on recording songs that I've written, but now I'm writing songs where I'm like, okay, maybe I could record this in August, or maybe I
Right.
could record this in September, so it comes out in that way. So I guess I'm doing a little bit of both.
Sure. How many songs would you say you have ready to like go right now as far as ready to record?
Ready to record. I'd say I have a solid like 3 songs that
Mm,
I'm like super proud of to record. Kind of a perfectionist with it.
fair.
And then some of the other ones I gotta tweak.
Fair. How do you kind of make that decision of like, okay, this one's still in the works versus these are ready to go?
It's completely a gut feeling. Super odd. I would just say it's like when it sits correctly with my intuition, I'm like,
Mm,
okay, this one's ready to go.
nice.
Other than that, I don't know. I'm really open to like constructive criticism though. So I definitely like listen to my producer or like music coordinator when they're like, "Oh, we kind of need to tweak this." I'm like, "Okay, I get it. We
Right.
can totally tweak it."
Fair. No, I was going to ask if you like share it with anybody, but is there like another songwriter out there that you like go to that is like a mentor, so to speak, or is that not a thing in Nashville really?
It is definitely a thing. I would say I have great friends from Belmont
Mm,
that are like mentors to me, songwriting wise. My friend Jules is an incredible, Juliana Cervisi, incredible
mm,
songwriter artist. And I remember showing her my single that I'll release in May. And when she said it was good, I knew it was good.
nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I think that's like just in any creative field in general, kind of having that person that you can go to that they're not being critical just to be critical,
Mhm.
but there's like a certain balance, right? You've got the yes men that'll just say, yeah, it's good. You're at just
Right.
about anything you give them. But then you've got the people that are just so critical, like they, no matter what you give them, nothing's going to be good or right or perfect or whatever. I think there's kind of like that happy medium ground. And when you find that person, it's just kind of like, all right,
Yes.
let's ride, you know?
And I always love showing the songs to my like non-musical friends
Hmm.
because most fans aren't songwriters
Hmm.
or producers or like these super, crazy musicians. So I'm like, all right, let me hear, your opinion as a fan, what you
Right.
would think. And sometimes those are the best ones.
Yep. I was just about to say that because they're not going to pick up on all like the little technical things that you're like. So I do video production. That's kind of my creative outlet, right? And so I sit there and I'll watch like a commercial that I made or a film that I made or something, and I'll just be like, man, I don't like the way that transition just kind of like the littlest thing,
Right.
and I'll show it to somebody that knows nothing about video production and editing and all that stuff. And they're like, oh, that looks great.
I'm
I'm
like, oh,
like,
that's perfect.
wait, you don't see this little thing, right? I mean, I do now that you pointed it out, but it doesn't
Right.
make a difference. Like, I'm like, huh, okay.
I
So,
know. Sometimes we can't trust our own brains.
right. And then the best is like when you've been so ingrained it like let's take a song for instance, like you're listening to a song so much that you start hearing things that aren't there anymore. Like you're like, I thought I took that hum out or that cajon or whatever. And it's
Yes.
like, no, your brain is just tricking you. It's not there. But yeah. So
I agree. I can only listen to some of my demos so many times before
right.
I'll lose my mind.
Right. Is there are is there any songs that you're like currently writing that are like in the forefront of your brain that is just kind of like, okay, this might actually be something? Or
Yes. Yes. I was just writing it like an hour ago too.
nice.
Yeah, it's got that little thing that might be good for TikTok.
Yeah,
We'll see.
nice. Actually, TikTok is like the I keep telling musicians, like, if you're not promoting your music on TikTok and like documenting the process on TikTok, you're missing out right now. Like that,
Yeah,
for whatever reason, that seems to be the thing that works. So,
all the following.
right? It's like, even if you're just playing around with like a riff and just like, hey, I got this riff. I don't know what to do with it. And then you play the riff. And then like 2 weeks later, it's like, oh, I've got this hook. Like, let's try it with this, like whatever. And it's
Yeah, and you
just
piece
like,
it together.
yeah. So
I know.
TikTok is an interesting thing. It's like I don't get it, I
Oh,
don't understand it, but it's interesting. So,
I know.
but anyways, oh, so outside of music, what do you like to get into? What do you like to do? For fun.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I love binging a good TV series or
Sweet.
movie. Love sitting on my couch sometimes. I'm just gonna be honest. I like to I like to go out with my friends a lot. Like grab dinner or lunch, like quality time with my friends. Um, and I'm a big traveler. I really like on days like I don't have anything to do, I'm always down for a day trip somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where do you like to day trip to? Like, I mean, in Nashville, you're kind of in the perfect spot because you could day trip to pretty much anywhere in Kentucky,
Yeah.
Atlanta. You can go a whole bunch of different places. Where do you like to day trip to?
This is funny. My friends and I have talked about just day tripping to Buc-ee's, which seems incredible. It's like an hour and a half away.
Fair.
Have a little hour fun shopping, eating at Buc-ee's, and then go right back home.
I've never been to the Tennessee Bucky's. I've only been to the Texas Bucky's,
Okay.
and we have them all except for one in Tennessee, and I think there's two or three in Florida. So,
Big. I've never heard of a Buc-ee's until I moved here.
right, it's an experience. It's
It is.
their food is very overpriced, but if you get it fresh, it's good. So,
Yeah, that whole store I walked in and I just felt like it was an out of body experience.
nice, nice. So I take it you've been there then.
Yes, I've been there like maybe three, four times,
Okay,
but some days I just wake up and be like, you want to go to Buc-ee's?
sure.
Maybe one day it'll happen. It hasn't happened yet where we've taken just a day trip. It's always been because like I was traveling to Gatlinburg, I think the one time I was going to an amusement park up in Kentucky,
Okay.
I think.
Oh,
Kentucky?
were you going to? It's not Six
Oh,
Flags, but it's what is it? I know what you're talking about though. So
it might be in Illinois. Santa Claus, Illinois?
Indiana.
Indiana.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. There you
Thank
go.
you. Holiday World.
Okay. There you go.
It was Holiday World.
That complete. There is a big amusement park in Kentucky, but Holiday World. I know what you're talking about. So
That's the one I went to.
nice. I love it. You said binging TV series. What have you watched recently?
Oh, okay. I watched Love on the Spectrum.
Okay. Seems to be a big one now.
It's awesome. You just that whole show is just so great. And I binged it, I think, within a day and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the other show would be Scandal on Hulu. That's a good one.
I've not. Obviously I've seen the advertisements for it, but I've never actually like sat down to watch it.
It
So,
takes a minute to get into. It's like a long series that you got to keep up with.
and it's one of the, right, you've got to like, if you miss an episode, you're like completely out of the loop.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
That's probably why I didn't watch it because I'm very prone to turn on a TV series and then I'll watch like a few episodes and I like fall asleep or something, but I won't go back to watch the episodes I missed.
I feel that.
So it is
That's
what it
me
is.
too.
I've been really big on watching like the Netflix documentaries,
Yes.
especially the one about all like like different American events, like the Waco siege, like all
Oh,
that type of stuff, like the American mass casualty events, I guess is the best way to kind of word it. So it's been interesting. So
I love a good documentary.
oh, it's so fun. It's especially now that they're doing like the series where it's like they're
Yes.
the episodes are still like an hour plus long, but it's broken up. So if like, okay, now I've got like a natural stopping point. If I want to go do something else, I can. So yeah,
I know. It's good stuff.
it
They
is.
have like 4 episodes, right? Like 3 to 4,
Yeah,
maybe 5 episodes in
yeah.
a, yeah.
Depending on what it is, but yeah, I was watching the Woodstock '99 documentary or
Oh, cool.
docuseries on Netflix the other day. That's a good one. I like that one. So
I'm gonna have to remember these.
yeah, it it's an experience. Put it that way. So,
Okay.
but
Worth it though?
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I grew up in the '90s, so it's like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where all the stuff they talk about and all the bands they talk about, it's like I know all these bands. I listened to them growing up, so
Yeah.
it might resonate a little bit different with you, but it as how not to do a music festival, it's probably a good watch. So
All right. Good to
yeah.
know.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of that. So kind of looking forward to the summer. You've got your new single dropping the end of the month, and you'll kind of start teasing that out next week as that
Yeah.
everything kind of gets a little bit more solidified. And then hopefully June, July, it'll kind of be more of the same.
Yep.
Sweet.
That's the plan.
Awesome. Do you have any shows on the books right now, or are you kind of still figuring that
Still
one out?
waiting, still waiting, feeling that one out. I think my focus right now is definitely going to be building my social media
Hmm.
and really pushing this next song.
Fair. How's that journey been of building out your social media?
Not good for me because I just struggle in front of a camera talking to myself or documenting certain things. Like just TikTok has not been my thing, but it's going to be because it has to be.
Fair.
That's what I'm telling myself.
That's fair. I will say though, you're building something because I like before you jumped on, I was just kind of going through like going into the different social media platforms and kind of typing your name in just to see what naturally pops up. And
Yeah,
it's like you're out there. So like I mean that's a good thing. And just kind of looking at your
it's good.
Spotify numbers, like from what I could see, it's like okay, you're building a following. You like I
Slowly
mean
but surely.
you're not getting hundreds of thousands of like streams and whatnot, but who the heck is in the independent world right now?
Right.
So,
Right.
uh,
Slowly but surely.
yeah,
Everything will happen when it needs to.
right. And so, like, it's just really cool to kind of just watch. It's going to be really cool to watch you grow over the next year and two.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. Um, if for people to follow you, listen to your current music, the new stuff you got coming out, and whenever you do get shows and whatnot, to follow all that, where's the best place to find you?
Instagram, it's Maddie Riccardo Music, and TikTok, Maddie Riccardo, YouTube, Maddie Riccardo, Facebook, Maddie Riccardo Music. And yeah,
Sweet.
I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, really appreciate your time. I
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch y'all later.